So hi, Adam. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Great. How's Argentina? This is the first
I
time.
think everyone's feeling good now, right? Like you're all feeling a little better now that you did that.
Probably everyone knows who you are, who team is, but maybe you can start with just a little bit of background of who's Adam.
Yeah, so my name's Adam Draper. I'm the founder of Boost VC, which is pre-seed deep tech fund. So we invest the first check into deep tech companies. How many of you are founders, entrepreneurs? Show of hands. Okay. Yeah, Buenos Aires has incredible energy for entrepreneurship. That's something that we've already established very early. I'm biased. The first industry that I ever invested in was Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, which people in Buenos Aires and Argentina understood immediately because of currency inflation. And one of my biggest successes is a company called Repio, which came from Argentina. And so I'm very, very thankful for this country for lots of reasons. But I've never been here before, so this has been fantastic. So thank you for welcoming me and my dad to here. Boost VC, we were sort of the first people to talk about, so I've been doing this I've been angel investing, I've been investing for 15 years and as Boost VC for 12. I've invested in 540 startups, something like that. I was the first investor in things like Coinbase, Amplitude, Benchling. There's a company called Wave. We were the first fund to ever focus on Bitcoin. And so I've been in a way that's like, I've just been around a long time. But it's been an incredible journey, and a lot of it I have to thank my dad, who's a venture capitalist for, and my grandfather, who is a venture capitalist, and my great-grandfather, who's a venture capitalist. So that's a little on who I am. I also, here, to give you, one of the questions we always ask founders is 3 decisions who made you who you are. And so I went away to boarding school, and a lot of my decisions were where I went left when everyone else went right. I went away to boarding school, which is across the country from where my family was, in Andover, Massachusetts. And then I was in high school, and everyone here your junior year of high school, or your last year of high school, all your friends, your amigos, are stressed about getting into college in the United States anyway. And I didn't enjoy them as much because they were all so stressed. And so I chose not to go to college the next year, and I told my parents, and so I ended up deciding to play tennis for a year in Australia. And it was a year where I learned an incredible amount. I was playing 8 hours a day of tennis, and I got pretty good. And then the last thing that I'll say about myself is I started a company my senior year of college, and that helped me understand this industry. In fintech, it was a secondary market. We don't need to go too far into it, but secondary market for private companies. And where would you go to buy shares of SpaceX today or shares of Stripe? So that's a little on me. That was a big, long thing, but.
Great. So we do share a lot in common in terms of where we invest very early in deep tech. And as you were saying, you were always a little bit early and contrarian. First in Bitcoin, first talking about deep tech when it was not sexy and was not cool. Now everyone is a deep tech fan. And now, and we share that, we want to push again, because if it is consensus, I mean, like Nacho said.
Now a lot of people know what deep tech is.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we knew early, so venture capital is really easy, okay? Look at what everyone else is doing and don't do that. That's it. It's harder than it sounds. Peer pressure is very heavy in this industry in order to invest in what people consider to be great companies. It's just hard to know whether or not something's great right at the beginning. Like, all the things I invested in that ended up succeeding I got to see it because it looked weird. Like, it wasn't obvious. And those are the best companies. All of you look weird. No, that was a joke. But I think that one of the things, so in terms of deep tech, we've been a deep tech venture capitalist for 12 years. We started in Bitcoin, which was, in our opinion, our first deep technology that we focus on. We ended up moving to virtual reality, and then aerospace, and that we just followed where we saw the anomalies. So whenever we were looking at Bitcoin, we started to see these weird people who were pitching us virtual reality because no one else would invest in them. And then when we were investing in virtual reality, we saw all these weird people
in sci-fi
who were in sci-fi.
You were a sci-fi.
It's 2 years. Yeah. So in our business, there are two people, right? There's the entrepreneur, and then there's the limited partner. It turns out limited partners don't like the word sci-fi tech. Sci-fi is like science fiction, and that was what we were for, 5 years. We said, we are the sci-fi tech investor. And then when everyone started to say deep tech, we listened, and we were like, okay, we're going all in on deep tech because it's a new term. It's like 2 years old.
And so to move to what we want to discuss today, and now again, you want to be contrarian again. So the new strange word or the new paradigm that you want to invest and push is the decentralization of science, is what you call short academia, long DeSci.
Yeah, so
let's go there.
It's really, I even talked this morning to a couple people who are scientists here who are trying to, who left academia to start a company. That is the movement I'm talking about. I'm talking about this movement where universities, my dad always talks about how the best place to invest is where the service is so bad and you need entrepreneurs to create new services, competitive services, to make the service better. And academia is the worst service because they promise, and I'm sure maybe there's academics in this audience, maybe I can convince you to leave the academic institution. But they promise a better life after 7 years of doing the science that they want you to do and paying you nothing. And if you think about it, like, how many rich scientists do you know? Right? Like, if I asked you to like come up with a list of 10 rich scientists, you'd be like, I can name one, maybe two. And this is the people who invented the internet. They're not rich. The people who invented like the biggest vaccines, the biggest breakthroughs in human history, like, these people aren't wealthy. Why? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And so I started to dig into this, and I've started to realize how horrible the academic institution treats its customer, which is the student. And they charge, it's subsidized by the government, they charge too much money, and then at the end of it, most of the students in America are in debt. They're $250,000 in debt after going through all their postdoc. And so all I want to create are more competitive spaces that make our service better. The way my analogy for this is very much Bitcoin. So I started in Bitcoin, and the reason that Bitcoin existed was because the bank forgot who its customer was. It hit a tragedy of scale, and it forgot that it needs to take care of the customer's money. And so some unknown person created this new alternative source of currency that you can hold if you disagree with what your bank's doing. And all of a sudden, over the last 10 years, we went from being the neglected, weird, off the beaten path like group of idealists to being a reserve currency for the United States. That is an insane transition. All I'm saying in my short academia, I say it because it makes you think, how would I bet against the academic institution? What I do is I support human endeavor. I want to invest in people who are going to change how the system works. And so right now we're at a moment in time where there's small groups of scientists or academics or students who want to create better systems of education, of whatever you believe the academic institution is, science, education. And I'm excited, like I'm energized. It's sort of in venture capital, being able to find that thing that gets you energized every morning to like go against to help the rebellion is really important. And so short academia has become my war cry, where I want to be able to help all these scientists get wealthy and figure out how to build businesses, or in the crypto ecosystem, get funded through crypto DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. And so I've been spending the last year, 2 years, but year very specifically on that industry. We've backed probably 10 of our last 20 startups have been in some semblance of this industry. So yeah.
Maybe you can say a few examples of the ones that caught you more your attention, to be less conceptual, and so people understand what this movement is taking, what shape it's taking.
That's a good question. So what does that mean? First off, startups in bio have always been a part of this rebellion. We backed a company called Colossal, where they're taking, there's this famous scientist who created CRISPR, and someone is using his technology in order to create the woolly mammoth, okay? Bring back the woolly mammoth, like Jurassic Park. This is a rebellion of sorts where they are raising a lot of money, and they've raised $300 million now, in order to hire a bunch of scientists away from academia and create the woolly mammoth. So that's a good example of centralization. We also invested in a company called HairDAO. So hair, like hair, pelo, is that what the word is? Pelo? It is very under-researched from an academic perspective, because the government doesn't want to fund hair research. But so many people have hair loss that a lot of people really care about it. And they got together and they funded research. So they just, all over the internet, they scoured the internet, came together, and they funded research. And they've already launched a shampoo. Like, they're already getting together and launching shampoos, new research. It's an incredible example of people getting together all over the world and doing unique research for a cause.
And that's an example that overlaps with crypto, right?
Yes, and that's the segment that overlaps with cryptocurrency. So this group fundraised for their project from the crypto ecosystem. And it's an incredibly well-run organization where it's very open and transparent, where another thing that the academic institution does is make everything very closed. I remember getting a tour at a great university, and what they did was they said, you can't talk about anything you're about to see. And I was like, what? You're supposed to be showing me the top of the line technology, and you're telling me I can't actually talk about any of these cool things? This is the weirdest, that's so weird. Like, I had to sign an NDA and it's like, what are we trying to do? If you're actually trying to cure cancer, you should be talking about it with everyone. And that's the thing that cryptocurrency does really well. It ties a lot of people together to talk openly about tough and important topics, where you're all incentivized to do better. So yeah, HairDAO. Yes, it's a crypto-related thing. Yeah.
So where do you think this is going to? I mean, we are in a crisis. Every institution is in a crisis. Government, monetary, hence Bitcoin, and academia is another old institution, like closed. There's no transparency in how you make decisions, how the money flows, and there's a lot of money there. What's your craziest wish that would happen with this movement in, I don't know, 5 years? Let's not put it like too far, 5 years.
If I look at the common themes in my career and what I've been able to witness, as far as, there's a funny saying in business, you're either building the empire or supplying tools to the rebels. It's like Star Wars. You can imagine Star Wars. I'm assuming, have you guys watched Star Wars? Okay. There, you're still listening. This is good. And so I'd say the thing that I've seen as a common theme throughout I'm a funder of tools for the rebels. So I invest in a lot of companies that are building competitive spaces for empire already built things. And it's awesome to watch all of these small rebellions blossom and become these big, big institutions. If I were to like point 15 years out and I extend the concept, we are living in a really interesting time where all of our institutions, I actually am not against institutions, for the record. I believe that they have hit a tragedy of scale. They forgot who their customer was. And so we have had to form rebellions to remind them of who their customer is. And so Bitcoin was that for finance. DeSci is that for academia. I think we're going to replace the NIH. I think SpaceX was that for NASA. And so if I'm trying to like deliver better goods and services over the next 15 years, I think that we're building a software suite, a group of software products that allow you to be your own doctor, that allow you to be your own bank, that allow you, so there's this ability where you get to take control over all of these services that used to be provided by the government. And that is very, very exciting to me over the next 15 years, being able to fund the competitive systems that allow the institution to be kept in check. And that's sort of what I've always done. It's just I didn't know that was what I was supposed to be doing. So it's great. So it's like self-sovereign tech. I don't know if that's a word in in Spanish.
For the Bitcoin community, soberano, we know soberano.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
we use that.
Yeah, Bitcoin, self-sovereignty, self-sovereign tech.
Self-sovereignty. Any final message you want to say to the audience and to start this great day?
Yes. Well, now that we've done Qigong together, I feel very intimate with all of you. My final message, I said something yesterday that I think I'm just going to end on. So Boost VC, we're really, really great at, so first off, open up your phone and email adam@boost.vc because you're a founder and I want to hear about what you do. In case we don't meet after this, I would love just to hear your pitch and be able to help you on your way. But one of the things that I've found is I think a lot of founders believe that they have to do like something to get good enough to do something else. Like that's a common theme but they actually just want to do something else, but they're doing this middle step for no reason. I would get a piece of paper out and I would write down what your greatest ambition is, what the actual greatest ambition is, like the one that you feel in your soul. And I would write that down. And I would have that as creating a North Star for that thing that you actually want to do. And then I would think every day, okay, how do I get closer to this? Now, the path you take is going to look like this. But the crazy thing about having goals is you actually attain the goals. It's just a matter of I think a lot of people fear the idea of writing it down and making it real. And so part of my job is really, and what I've learned from my dad and my grandfather, is telling people it's okay to be ambitious. It's okay to have big dreams and do them. It's sometimes really, annoying to your friends and family. But overall, it's okay. You can do that. You're allowed to do that. And I think that's a big part of the self-sovereignty is just knowing that it's all good. You can build great companies. I've seen incredible people who are just so energetic. Everyone always asks me, what do you look for in founders to invest in? And it's just genuine, authentic energy. Like, you want to invest in people who are just genuinely like obsessed, and they know themselves, and they're trying to figure out how to bring this better world forward. My job is so cool. I get to talk to the most optimistic people who are the best at what they do because they've obsessed over this one small thing for so long. And they're telling me, this is the problem that everyone has in the world, and this is how I'm gonna make it better, make the world a better place. And so a lot of people feel, the world is in crisis or something. Like, they're looking at all the news and the political things that are happening. And my news in my email and in my calls every day is not in crisis. The world is in very good hands because I meet all these incredible people who are saying, I'm going to make the world a better place, and I'm committing the next 15 years to do that. If I could leave you with one thing, it's like, hey, the world's not in crisis. Someone just wants you to feel that way. Founders are still building incredible things, and they're heroes for doing so. And also, you should also pitch these guys if you haven't pitched these guys already, would be the last thing. So, thank you all for doing Qigong with me and listening to me the last 20 minutes. Also, Argentina is awesome, so you guys are in a great country.
Let's refund every institution, basically.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Defund the institute. Well, it's not defunding. It's like
refund it.
It's like
invite people. Let's invite people to the other
collapse
side.
the institution. I don't know. It's like more. You need to say the extreme thing for people to listen, and then you have to be very rational. Like, you need to be like, we're going to collapse the banks. Well, this is how decentralized technology works. Like, we're going to destroy the academic institution. Well, there are a lot of really great scientists who are just outside the academic institution. We want to bring them all together. Like, you kind of want to say the extreme thing so someone goes, what are you talking about? One last thing. Boost VC is really good. The thing I get really excited about is, like, a lot of you are founders in the audience. If you have a trouble telling your, like, mom or friends what you do, like, that's a good stage for us. Like, where you're like, they don't know what to tell their friends about what you do. We are very good at helping that process so that it feels a little more rational to the average person. So that's when you should be reaching out. When it's like hard, like your mom doesn't know how to brag about you, that's the space. So, hey, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.